Is democracy in India a thriving reality or a fading illusion? A question that might seem controversial, but necessary. As we approach the 2023 Indian Assembly elections, it's crucial to scrutinize the strategies employed by the political parties vying for power. What are they promising? How are they trying to win our votes? Are their tactics truly democratic, or are there undercurrents of manipulation? In the vibrant landscape of Indian politics, parties often utilize distinct strategies to garner support. Some focus on populist agendas, promising welfare measures and subsidies to appeal to the masses. They present themselves as the champions of the people, the guardians of societal well-being. But how often are these promises realized? How many of these grand pledges translate into tangible action once the election fever subsides? Then there are those who adopt identity politics, emphasizing regional, religious, or caste affiliations to consolidate specific voter blocs. They tug at the heartstrings of community pride, of cultural identity, of shared history. But is this focus on shared identity always a unifying factor? Or does it sometimes become a tool for division, a mechanism for polarization? The darker side of Indian politics is no secret either. False assurances and unrealistic promises are often disseminated with no clear roadmap for implementation. This practice, akin to dirty politics, can mislead voters, creating disillusionment once the party is in power. Similarly, negative campaigning and mudslinging are common tactics employed to tarnish the reputation of opponents. Instead of focusing on substantive issues, the political discourse often descends into personal attacks, creating a toxic environment that distracts from the real challenges facing the nation. So, the political landscape of Indian elections is a mixed bag, a blend of genuine policy discussions and manipulative strategies. It underscores the complexities and challenges of the democratic process in the country. So the question stands, are these strategies strengthening our democracy, or are they subtly eroding it? Diving deeper into the political strategies, we see a spectrum ranging from genuine policy discussions to manipulative tactics. On one end, we find populist agendas. These are strategies where political parties promise welfare measures and subsidies to appeal to the masses. They tap into the public sentiment, promising immediate relief and benefits. But herein lies the catch. These promises often lack a clear roadmap for implementation, leading to disillusionment among the public once the party is in power. Moving along the spectrum, we come across identity politics. Here, parties emphasize regional, religious, or caste affiliations to consolidate specific voter blocs. They create narratives of us versus them, stoking the fires of division for political gains. This strategy, while effective in garnering votes, often undermines the unity and harmony of the diverse Indian society. And then there are the darker strategies involving false assurances and unrealistic promises. Parties make grand pledges, knowing they might not be able to deliver. This not only misleads voters, but also undermines the democratic process. What's more, negative campaigning and mudslinging are frequently employed to tarnish the reputation of opponents, diverting attention from substantive issues and contributing to a toxic political environment. But it's not all doom and gloom. On the brighter end of the spectrum, we see genuine policy discussions taking place. Parties engage in debates over economic policies, social reforms, and infrastructural development, offering voters a chance to make an informed choice. The landscape of Indian elections, as we see, is a mix of these strategies. Some are aimed at immediate gains, while others focus on long-term development. Some prioritize the welfare of the masses, while others seek to consolidate power among specific groups. While these strategies might win elections, the question remains, do they serve the democratic ideals we hold dear? The answer isn't black and white, and as we navigate through this complex political landscape, it's crucial to remember the essence of democracy, a government of the people, by the people, for the people. As we peel back the layers of the political landscape, a darker side emerges. The lustrous sheen of democracy often masks the murkier underbelly of political strategies. It's here, in the shadows, where we find the negative aspects of election strategies such as false assurances, unrealistic promises, and mudslinging. In the heat of electoral battles, political parties often resort to making grand pledges without a clear roadmap for their implementation. These promises, while enticing on the surface, often lead to disillusionment among the public once the party comes to power. The failure to deliver on these assurances not only breeds public cynicism, but also undermines the very essence of a democratic process, which is built on trust and transparency. Moreover, negative campaigning and mudslinging are all too common. Parties employ these tactics to tarnish the reputation of their opponents, diverting attention from the real issues at hand. This not only derails the focus from policy discussions, but also contributes to a toxic political environment. It's a strategy that feeds on divisiveness and discord, pushing the democratic discourse further into the depths of negativity. But perhaps the most concerning aspect is the manipulation of identities. Some parties play upon regional, religious, or caste affiliations to consolidate specific voter blocs. This approach, while successful in garnering votes, can lead to communal polarization and social unrest. Such tactics, while effective for short-term gains, can undermine the long-term health of our democracy. As we move forward, we must strive for a political climate that prioritizes policy over populism, integrity over identity politics, and unity over division. For only then can we truly say that we live in a healthy democracy. Such tactics, while effective for short-term gains, can undermine the long-term health of our democracy. How does the Indian democratic process compare to other democratic nations? Let's take a moment to ponder this question. In the global political arena, democracy is a widely accepted form of governance, yet its implementation varies significantly across nations. In the United States, for instance, the democratic process is dominated by a two-party system. The Democrats and Republicans battle it out every 4 years in a presidential election, with the winner taking all in a single round of voting. Unlike India, identity politics and communal affiliations take a backseat, with the focus being more on policy and ideology. Across the pond, in the United Kingdom, a parliamentary democracy is in place, much like India. However, the UK has a unique first-past-the-post system, where the candidate with the most votes in a constituency wins, even if they don't secure an absolute majority. This differs from India's majority rule system, where a candidate must secure over half the votes to win. Meanwhile, in Scandinavian countries like Sweden and Norway, a proportional representation system is used, ensuring that all political parties get a fair share of seats according to their vote percentage. This stands in stark contrast to India, where a party can win a majority of seats without winning a majority of votes. Yet, no matter the differences, all these nations strive for the same goal: a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. They underline the importance of active citizen participation, free and fair elections, and respect for human rights, principles that India holds dear. So, what can India learn from these nations? Perhaps the American focus on policy over identity, the British commitment to a level playing field, or the Scandinavian approach to proportional representation. Each offers a different perspective on how to enhance the democratic process. While each nation has its unique challenges, there's always a lesson to be learned, a perspective to be gained. So, what is the way forward? How do we steer our democracy towards a healthier path? It's time we ponder upon these questions that hold the key to our political future. Firstly, we need to encourage informed voting. It's crucial that voters comprehend the significance of their vote and the impact it has on the country's trajectory. This requires a deeper understanding of the political landscape, the ideologies of contesting parties, and the implications of their policies. To achieve this, we could promote educational campaigns and digital platforms that provide unbiased information about the parties and their agendas. Secondly, Transparency in campaign promises is pivotal. Parties should provide a clear roadmap for their proposed policies and initiatives, outlining how they plan to achieve their promises. This would not only prevent the dissemination of false assurances, but also hold parties accountable for their pledges. A regulatory body could be established to monitor and verify the credibility of these promises, ensuring they're not just hollow words meant to sway voters. Lastly, it's time we foster a more civil political discourse. Negative campaigning and mudslinging should be discouraged, and focus should be redirected towards substantive issues that matter to the public. This shift in narrative could be facilitated by the media, which plays a crucial role in shaping public opinion. Rather than focusing on sensationalism, the media should prioritize policy discussions, encouraging constructive debate, and promoting a more mature political culture. But remember, change begins at home. As citizens, we must not let our votes be swayed by short-term benefits or divisive politics. We should strive to make informed choices, keeping the larger picture in mind. A healthy democracy is not just about choosing our leaders. It's about holding them accountable and ensuring they serve the people, not just their political ambitions. Let's take the road less traveled, the road to a healthier democracy. After all, the power of change lies within us.